Welcome to Desktop Central Training. And are you able to hear my voice and you're able to view the presentation as well? Please confirm by commenting on chat. Great, thank you very much. Fine, so it's a 7-week of series of Desktop Central Training, and we are now on week 3 to discuss about the asset management. And the below URL, which is mentioned over here, is going to help you to show the previous recorded training. And this is going to be week 3 of asset management. And my name is Leonard. So I'm going to be your presenter for today. So I have the industry experience of 10 years, out of which 6 years with ManageEngine. And today, let's discuss about the asset management, how effectively manage the asset management of Desktop Central to handle our day-to-day IT requirement. And as you could see, this is the overview. We are going to deal with managing of MS Office 2016, controlling the bandwidth spikes and non-standard applications, planning the Windows 10 upgrade, and few real-time scenarios and how it could be solved using Desktop Central. And finally, we are going to wrap with the frequently asked questions, a common questionnaires which has been raised from the customers. So this training has been assigned or designed to fit and to make understand the basic and the middleware and the advanced user. So here we go with the supported operating system. So as you know, Desktop Central is capable of managing machines on Windows, Mac, and Linux. And we have a database of 13,000 plus commercial applications, which has been contributed by our customers. So based on this, the applications when you choose or when you install in the network would be automatically identified as commercial. And let's talk about the architecture of Desktop Central. So the Desktop Central architecture is nothing but it's a client and server model. So Desktop Central server can be installed in the local office, and the agents are going to be installed on all the client machines. And Desktop Central agent on the client machine, like installing it on the client machine, is going to be the one-time job. It's going to be the one-time job. So once it's installed, then it's going to take care of the management process. And the upgradation of Desktop Central is done only on the server side, and it is not required to be done on the client side, since the client has the intelligence to automatically get upgraded. And Desktop Central supports the LAN, WAN, and the remote office users, like the roaming users or the mobile users. And when it comes for the remote office management, so it's always recommended to have a distribution server if you're managing machines more than 10 and above. And for the other offices, you can manage the direct communication. And roaming users can also be managed in the Desktop Central by using the VPN network, like the virtual private network, or NATing by network address translation. So by these technologies, the machines which are out of office could be managed using the internet. And we do have some certain ports to be opened, and that set of ports which needs to be open is being given over here. So we require these ports to be open from your firewall in your Desktop Central server in order to manage things smoothly and as expected. Well, so let's talk about the agent to server communication. So Desktop Central agent would be contacting the server at every 90 minutes of time. And this is called as a refresh policy. So using this process, this is to ensure that all the computers in the network contact the server periodically, And we have two important factors which are ensured. Number one, network is not choked by the agent communication, meaning the bandwidth is not disturbed due to agent-server communication. Number two, the performance of the server is not affected at any time. So server has an intelligence to ensure the systematic streamlined communication from all agents in a regular interval. And to be more precise, to make it more simple to understand, so let's take an instance of having a 90 computers network. So if it is going to be the 90 computers network, so one machine will be communicating to the desktop central server per minute. And if it is 900 machines network, 10 machines will be reaching out the desktop central server per minute. And similarly, if it is going to be a 9,000 computers environment, it is going to have 100 machines reaching out the desktop central server per minute. So this is to ensure that everything is being worked in seamless connectivity. Well, so now let's get into the core agenda of asset management or the inventory management. Here we are going to see about how things are working in the background, like what is there in the engine room. So here we go with the scanning. So in asset management, scanning is going to be a vital and significant task. So it's a very important action to be done on the asset management. So whenever you perform a scan, the agent will collect the computer hardware, software, and warranty details and post the information back to the server. And the very first scan is going to be a complete surface scan. Next scan is going to be a differential scan, which is nothing but it is going to compare the value of the previous scan and the changes happen as of now. So the differential data is going to be posted to the server. This is to ensure that it's not going to take much of your bandwidth utilization. And once the scan is done, as mentioned, it's going to be posted to the desktop central server. And this scan information is going to be published on the UI to show you all the informations. And we do have an agent intelligence scanning in desktop central, which is more unique of its kind. So this scanning is going to help you to identify the changes happen in the machine. So any changes like hardware changes or software changes, that's going to be identified by the agent, and even that information is going to be posted to the desktop central server in order to ensure that you have the real-time information or up-to-date information. Well, so as we discussed for the first module, we are going to deal with managing Office 2016 licenses. So to explain in a better way, like imagine I'm going to be an administrator in an organization and I'm responsible to install and manage the software licenses. So we are going to get into the product to know how we are going to manage the Office 2000. So here we go. So if you go to the inventory, in the left pane, you should be able to see manage license. So this place is going to help you to manage all your licenses. It's very simple to add the license. Just click on the license part, apply or enter the application name which you're planning to install. And we have an option to even choose from the list. You can just quickly search from the place where you want to add a license. It gives you all the applications. We can start adding the license right away from here. And that's going to provide all the manufacturer details. And you can add the license count, how many licenses you're purchasing. And the license name, we have a unique value which should not be changed. To whom it has been licensed, and the purchase date and expiry date is mandatory. The reason because with the help of this expiry date and purchase date, we are going to provide you a report which is known as the software renewal report, which helps you to get an alert in advance to ensure that you're going to renew the product or the applications which you're managing for your business purpose, and to make it a smooth business continuity plan. And coming down, we have the license and invoice files. If you want, you can just add. You can choose the machines, like what are the machines you're planning to manage for this application. You can just add the machine names accordingly. So this is going to help you to ensure that these machines are going to be managed in the network. In case if you do not have the application purchased, but you're planning to purchase the application and you want this application to be installed in the network, yes, of course, you can come here. You can provide the information manually. You can provide the application name, its manufacturer details, everything manually. And even if you want to know, like, or if you have decided, okay, these machines are going to be managed with this application, yes, you can come and you can choose the machines and you can assign it accordingly. So you can even manage the licenses for the installed application and the application which you're planning to install. Well, so this is the process of adding the license in a place, and once the license is added, you should be able to see all the details. And don't get panicked that it's not a manual operation which you're going to do for each and every application. We do understand that you might be having a dozen plus or 100 plus applications in the network which is being used in the network, and it's going to be a tedious process to add the licenses one after another. So for that reason, we have given you an import from CSV format. So this would help you to automatically add all the licenses which you have. So obviously every enterprise will be having the license information in Excel sheet. So you can just modify the format according to the given format and save it as a CSV, import it, and that's going to help you to show all the applications right away from this place. So adding the license here gives extra value for us to understand about how many licenses we have and how many are installed and how many is in hand, because it's going to be a challenging task for every enterprise. Most of the enterprise will be having the license information in an Excel sheet, but we do not know where this application is installed and exact count of application, like whether we have installed all the application in the network or still we have some application in the hand, so that we can make use of this in our future requirement. So that could not be determined without any kind of a license management application, and there we are. So we help you to provide all these informations right away in the managed license, and that's what you're seeing upfront on the screen. So when I add an Office 2016 license or any other license, you can see here we have a list of options provided here, which is called the complaint status. So what does mean by the complaint status? So the complaint status is nothing but, you could see of in complaints in a green icon. So the in complaints is nothing but the license, the number of license purchased is equal to the number of installation in the network is known as in complaints, meaning that I purchased one license, I've installed it on one machine successfully, I've satisfied the rules, so it's in compliance. So what is mean by the over licensed? So over licensed, again, it's going to be like I have 192 license purchased. Like the number of license purchased is more than the number of installation in the network is known as the over licensed. So I have purchased 192 license, whereas I have installed only on 2 machines. I still have 190 machines remaining in my hand, which is known as over licensed. So by which I can see this information, I can very well define or plan my licensing when any new request raises for having this application to be installed in the network. I can very well go and install the application. And the other way is going to be the under licensed. So the under licensed is the number of license purchased is less than the number of installation in the network, known as the under license. So meaning that I've purchased only 100 license, but by mistake, unintentionally, having different technicians in the help desk team or IT team, so everyone started installing the common application in the requirement, and now we have installed in 151 machines, where we are extra with 51 license which is installed on the machines. So we are breaching the license rule. So if this is going to be done for a software audit report, then the company has to be paying a hefty penalty for this scenario. So in this situation, the desktop central asset management is going to help us to identify what the machines are. So just click on the count. It's going to show you all the 151 machines. All your job is to find out which machine is not required. For example, so I'm just choosing these 3 machines And if I just click on uninstall, it's going to help me to uninstall from those machines, and it will bring back the complaint status to in complaints to avoid the penalty. So that's going to help us in this view for having the complaint status. Well, so let's go back to the managing license for Office 2016, which is the core discussion what we have started now. Well, so I have installed the Microsoft Office 2016 for 25 people, and everything is good to go, and you can see all the machines over here. Fine. So after 3 months later, the finance team has employed 4 new users for that team. So I've been raised a request to help them to install this Office 2016 for those 4 users. So I'm into the action of deploying the Office 2016 for the 4 users. Before that, I just came to the manage license. I could see that there are no license in my hand as of now. In this situation, I need to go, if I'm not with Microsoft, I'm not with the ManageEngine Desktop Central Asset Management, obviously I need to go for my accounts department, raise a request, apply for extra license for Microsoft Office 2016. So I need to stay on the line to get the approval, and then I need to install this. So this takes more time consumption. And similarly, I need to address the requirement immediately because the users are already coming to the team and it's affecting the business job. So I need to ensure that this has to be done at the given period of time. So with the help of Manage License, I can quickly act fast without interacting with my accounts department or waiting for the approval. I can do things right away. All I'm going to do here is I just want to check how many people are using this application and whether these users are effectively using this Office 2016 or not. For that, I'm going to use another feature called software metering. So the software metering helps me to identify how effectively an application is being used in the network, so that I can go check what is happening and which users are using this application, so I can make use of that report for different scenarios. Number 1, so you could see the situation what I'm handling now. So I can use this Office 2016 installation to go check the effective usage and make use of the license. Number 2 is, in a company, if the company is using some expensive applications license, so if they're using this expensive application license and if they're paying more money for that applications, so year on year they might be spending the money for renewing the license without knowing whether the application is being used effectively or not. So when you have the software metering, we can check how many users are effectively using this application, how many times it has been used, how long it has been used, in how many machines it has been used, by which we can identify and we can make some necessary changes on the next renewal to cut short the license for the non-users, and we can save some money. So that's going to be the different scenario. Well, so coming into the software metering. So software metering's objective is all about providing a report about the effective usage of the application. So in order to make use of it, let's go how to take this. Going here, we are going to choose the applications. Whatever applications you have in your network is going to be shown. You're going to add the application and provide the rule name, the file name, and even if you want to have some other information, you can make use of it. So the file name is going to be the original file name of this application. So for example, you can go and check in your program files, Adobe Acrobat Reader folder. You can see the file name. You can right click on the properties to see what is the original file name. Please provide that original file name here and save it. So once this information is saved, it's updated in Desktop Central Server now. On the next contact of the agents will identify a change happened in the software metering rule. A new rule has been added. So they take this rule and go back. And in whichever machine this application is installed, it's going to observe the usage of the application, like opening and closing of this application. It's going to observe the usage of the application, and then it's going to post the information to the server on the end of the day, which means of midnight 12. So this is to ensure that then and there it's not going to post the information to choke your network. So it's going to post the information only once in a day at the end of the day. After finishing the task, on the next day, we can go and pull a report, and the report is going to show you like in how many machines it was used, how many times it was used, and how long it was used. So likewise, when I'm going to check for my Office 2016, I've already created the rule. So you could see here, I can see some users, those who haven't used this application effectively. So I'm going to talk to these users, department head, and want to revert the license from those users. And I'm going to provide it to my newly joined guys in the finance team to make up the situation. So this is how I'm going to manage the situation, and this is going to help me not to go for a new procurement of the license. I can just manage with a given license limit. Well, after a course of 6 months later, the finance team is again recruiting 25 new users, and I've been again requested to install the same Office 2016 for the users. And now obviously, you know, I don't have any chance, so I need to go for a new procurement. So in this condition, I'll just went to the new procurement, I got it. I don't need to go back, open, add license and add it as a new license, because this has already been managed and there is no changes with the version, no changes with the product name. So I'm just going to add more license, with number of license purchased is going to be of 25, and license to the company, my company, and I'm just going to choose the license date when it's going to get expired, and I'm just saving it. That's it. So it's now saved, and here we go. You could see the Microsoft Office 2016 reflects for 50 total purchase, whereas 25 is installed and I still have 25 remaining. So it was in compliance earlier and now it has been moved to the over licensed. So if you would like to go and check about the license status, yes, you can just click on that. It shows the details about the license which has been added new. So likewise, you can keep on adding more licenses with the same given application, and you can go ahead. And even if you don't want to use this, you want to remove, you can also go ahead and you can just delete the license. So it will bring you back to the in compliance status. Well, so this is all about of managing Office 2016 licenses. And I would like to invite you for raising your queries. Do please raise your queries. So we do have an expert panel sitting on the side. So you can raise your queries through the chat and they are liable to answer your questions. So if you have any questions on this managed license, do please raise it. And let's go back to the next agenda of controlling the bandwidth spikes in non-standard applications. Well, so again, I'm presenting a kind of a scenario to make it more easy and understandable. So in my company, we had a meeting between the system administrator and the network administrator. And the network administrators has presented two complaints saying that number one is considerable amount of bandwidth was consumed by an application in the network, which is affecting the routines, the business routines. And number two, they've also identified some unauthorized applications found in the desktops. So these are the two things which was raised as a concern in the admin meeting. So it has been given to me to handle the situation. And now I'm going back to the product in order to identify what kind of application it is. And they also mentioned that the bandwidth spike was consumed by an application called Google Talk, so which has been used frequently in the network for interacting with the social activities in the business hours, and which consumes much of our bandwidth. Well, so I'm going to handle the situation with the help of Desktop Central. So let me take you back to the product to show you how this could be handled. So first of all, I just want to know how many machines are available with this Google Talk, so that I can go ahead, I can start my action plan. So Desktop Central helped me to identify about the information. So I'm going to the inventory reports. The inventory reports here is a predefined reports for inventory management, like asset management. So this gives you a versatile information for the hardware, software, license, warranty, and even the system reports. And as you could see here, you can pull a report for operating system base or manufacturers, the machine manufacturers, the memory details, the disk usage, what is the size of the hard drive, and the computers by its age, and the computer by device type, whether it's going to be the laptop or a desktop or servers, and of course the mapped logical disks. Similarly, for the software by its manufacturer, recently installed applications, prohibited applications, and software usage by computer, product key details, computers with or without user-specific software, and software metering and user-specific applications. So these are the things which is provided. Among the software reports, the software by manufacturer, recently installed software, and the software usage by computer. So these reports are pulled with the help of the Windows operating system. What we see on the control panel could be fetched in this report with the use of a WMI format. However, the rest of the reports are being provided with the help of the agent, which is sitting on the machine in order to collect all the information and post it to the server to keep it in the database to help us to cater the requirement whenever we need a report on the basis. And obviously the license report, and this is a report which I was emphasizing the time when we are adding the license date, the renewal date and the purchase date, the purchase date and the expiry date. So this report is going to help us to show when a product is going to get renewed. You could see the overview of the information, like how many purchased, network installation, managed machines and remaining. If you just go to the detail view, it will show you the license expiry period given with the minimum starting from 5 days to 2 months of period, and even you can see the expired applications, and of course you can also make change according to your choice by generating the report by the custom period. So this report is going to be helpful for you to identify the applications which are going to be expired, so you can act fast and renew the product. And you can also add this report onto your scheduled report. We have an option of scheduled report in which these reports are going to be triggered to you on the requirement basis. Why? And the warranty reports. So it's going to talk about the machines, what we have in the network, soon to expire the warranty, the expired warranty, or unidentified machine. So the machine which is not as a branded, we can see those reports. Fine. So these are all the reports which are predefined with the column chooser in it. So you can choose the columns and you can get the details according to your choice. Well, so now what is my concern is I'm just going to search for an application called Google Talk to see how many machines I have, and I have chosen a report called computers with or without a specific software. So this report is going to help you to get filtered based upon the domain or a remote office or work group, or even using a custom group, a feature called custom group in Desktop Central, which helps you to create a group of adding a set of machines which falls under the group. So you can even pull the report based upon the group. Well, so now I'm going to the domain. I'm just going to browse. I'm searching for the application called Google Talk, and I've just found that application. I'm just selecting it. I'm just going to generate a report to see what I have. My God, it's 150 machines, which is more concern. So it's a good number, which is alarming. So I need to definitely take action on it. Since we are on the screen, so you can pull a report in just a single click of getting all the informations, and you can also add more columns if you want by rearranging the columns as you wish. So you can get the columns accordingly over here. And this report is something which is an exact application name which I'm pulling. Even if you do not want, okay, fine. So you can also take this in different scenario. For example, I'm planning to install some application, and I'm planning to install an application. Let's take the same Google Talk here. So I'm planning to install a Google Talk application. Before installing it, I just want to know in how many machines this application is installed. I can come to this place of computers with or without specific software. I can select the application name. I can generate the report where it shows me how many machines are holding this application. Well, that's good. So my next action is going to be, I want to install this application onto the machines where this application is not installed. So for that, I'm going to choose does not equal and generate a report. Here we go. I have 42 machines in my domain which does not have the Google Talk. So I can create a group, or I can create a software deployment package. I can deploy this application to these 42 machines. So it's very simple. I can get the details in one single click. Similarly, even if you want to find out any application where you do not have the precise name or the specific name of the application, but you have only of something like, for example, Google, but you want to give a quick search, yes, we do have it, like. So similar to Google, any application is found. You can see all the applications over here. So similar to Google, any application like a Google-based application installed the machine, you can see that details over here. And even if you don't want, not like Google, you can also get the information. So this report is going to help us to figure out the list of machines well. Now my next action plan is all about of going to the prohibited software to uninstall this application. So prohibited software is a feature set in asset management or inventory management, which is going to help you to add the application, so by which we can figure out in how many machines this application is installed, and we are going to provide you as a report like this, where we can take necessary action to install the uninstall the application. So the uninstall could be done on two different manner. Number one, for exe. So you could see here like MSI and exe are two different formats which is provided, and when you look into the uninstall command, for all MSIs you will not find any kind of option because it's not applicable. So meaning that it is going to help you to uninstall the applications according to your choice. But when it comes for the exe, it's mandatory that we need to configure it accordingly. So I can show you the Google Talk over here. So I have already added the silent switches, because as you know, every exe application is being provided with the silent install uninstall command, which has been defined by the vendor. So providing this switches will help you to install or uninstall the application silently without interacting with the user or without interrupting the user. It's going to happen in the background. So your action is going to get succeeded without affecting the user's routines. And for that reason, since we are uninstalling an exe, provide the exe application silent switch here. It's a pre-uninstall command which we automatically fetch it from the registry. So all you have to do is provide the silent switch. If you know that, okay, I know that where the application is available, yes, you can provide the application name as it is. For example, you can just provide the application name and you can click save so that it will be saved. Well, now I have just added the silent switch. Well, so it's time to uninstall the application. I'm going to auto uninstall policy. I've chosen enable automatic uninstallation, and I've set number 5 so that it is going to uninstall 5 different applications in a machine. So it's recommended to have it 5. The reason because if you are going to have like 10 or 15, so when a machine is consist with list of prohibited application what you have added in the list, on the next reboot, the application is going to get uninstalled. If a user is rebooting a machine, then the reboot may take much time because during the reboot process, the uninstallation is happening in the background. So this may get a kind of a panic situation for a user, why the machine is not booting at a due time. So for that reason, it's recommended to keep this as 5. So it is going to help you to uninstall the applications on every subsequent reboot. So you don't need to worry on it. Fine. So I've done with this job and everything is completely uninstalled and it's good to go. So the network is back on the track. However, I got a message from my managers list saying that, hey, the Google Talk has been uninstalled from the machine, and why did you uninstall? So this is not only for my managers and even for others, but first I need to address my manager's request. So I need to go for the configure global exclusion, where I have already created my managers. So I'll just move them to the exclusion list. Even if you have any specific machine not to fall into this prohibited rule, yes, you can go ahead and add it. So likewise, when it's getting added, those machines will not fall under any of these prohibited rules, and that's going to be simple. Well, so now I have added and everything is going in a good pace. Now I got a request from my help desk team stating that even the Google Talk has been removed from their department, the help desk department. So they want this to be installed only for the help desk team. The reason because, or the sales team. The reason because they are using this application to interact with the customers for the business purpose. So it has been raised. Now I'm going to add the sales department or help desk department, whatever department, to the Google Talk. For that, you may go to the configured, and you can see here, you can choose the custom group or a specific machine, and you can just add it to the target machine. And since then, even those department users are good to go with the application. Well, apart from that, if you have something else to be handled, for example, I have a user who has raised a request, like I want to use Google Talk, but for that request, I need to enable this user notification settings. So the user notification settings is going to notify the users based on this information. And I'm just, let me show that how it is going to be seen. And this is just a quick workflow about whatever we discussed on the prohibited software, like configuring the prohibited software, agent identifies, and we can uninstall based upon the user notification, which we are going to see now, and automatically uninstall the prohibited software. And here we go. So this is going to be prompted on the user side. So once we provide this information over here, on the next reboot of the machine, this is going to be prompted to the user with a message, and the user can provide a comment for the message what has been provided from the administrator. So user can comment this message saying that, hey, this app is going to be used for so and so purpose, so please allow me to use this app. Well, I can go ahead, I can do that arrangements. What happens if the user is not replying to this message, the pop-up which has appeared during the startup? If the user is not updating, or user is not justifying the reason for the application, so it is going to get automatically uninstalled on the next 3 days. Well, if the user has raised a request, all the user request is going to be provided over here, and you can see all the informations. I can just click on it. I can see who's the user who has requested. I can approve the software by commenting. I can approve it. Else, if I want to deny, I can deny, which will get uninstalled automatically. So likewise, I'm going to handle the situation, and using the prohibited software, I can handle those kind of actions. And similarly, you can also go and check all the machines, like what are the machines which we have uninstalled using this auto uninstall policy, and what are the machines right now using the prohibited applications. We can go and check the prohibited application count as it is, and the user request and the audit history. So you'll be having the audit, whatever application which you have approved, everything will be in the audit history. So this is how we can manage the prohibited software count. So by which I have successfully handled my first mission of the bandwidth spike application, which is completely arrested. Now I'm moving on to the second concern which was raised, like some unauthorized application in the network. So it's my next job is to go and check for the unauthorized application. So I'm going to use the block executable feature. So this feature is, we can also call it as an extended version of prohibited software. The reason, in prohibited software, we cannot restrict an application to be installed, but we can uninstall the application, or we can remove the application. So even if the application which you have removed from prohibited software is again being installed by the user on the next time, still we can uninstall it, or we can remove it, the application. And that is going to help us provide it with the alerts. So we have even a configure alerts. So the alerts are going to help us to notify us if any new hardware is added, removed. And you can see here, the prohibited software, which is again installed, will be notified to you through the email if you provide an email address over here. Fine. So an extended version of prohibited software, we can make it as, we can call this block executable as an extended version of prohibited software. So what is the objective of block executable? So the block executable is going to help us to identify the application extension. With the help of the extension, it's going to stop the launch of the non-standard applications. Whatever application it's going to be used, it's going to stop it. And this could be done for custom groups. If you're planning to make this possible for any of the specific groups, please create a custom group and add the machines. And if you would like to do this for overall machines across the domain, yeah, you can choose all computers group. So likewise, you can make use of it. So for now, I'm just choosing a help desk team, and I'm just going to add an executable. So an executable called pscsp.exe, so which is identified as a kind of a data theft application. So I'm using the application, and so here we go. I just added the application. Yeah, it's already added, so it's showing you. Well, so the application is added. Now, on the next time, when the agents check into the server for the next handshake, they'll identify, okay, new change has been, a new rule has been created, or a policy has been created. So they're going to catch up this policy, go back, and they're going to observe what's going to happen. So if that user is planning to launch this application is going to be completely blocked. So the launch of the application is now blocked. Well, so this is going to be achieved now. And the other way, if you think of some smart users, if the user comes to know the agent or the machines are getting blocked about this application, like the machine is blocking this application because of the file name, so he'll act smart and he'll change the file name like pscp.exe to 123.exe or xyz.exe. In that condition, Desktop Central may not block that application. It allows to go further for the installation process. Well, so we need to go extra measure on this, and we march forward being more smarter than the users. For that reason, we are providing you the hash. So choose the file which I'm having already added in the list, so which is going to calculate and identify the file signature, which means the hash value, the MD5 hash value. So these values are not going to be changed. It's going to be unique for every file. So based on the file signature, we are going to add this application over here, and henceforth, if the user is going to change the application name, still the user cannot make use of the installation process. Still, we can block this application in the background. Right? So this is going to help us to achieve by adding those non-standard applications in advance, and we can stop the installation of those applications from the network using Desktop Central block executable. Well, so we have successfully achieved the two concerns which is raised by the network admin. Well, so if you have any questions on the prohibited software block executable, I would recommend you to please raise it across, so our expert panel may help you to provide the assistance by addressing your queries. So by the way, we have done with the module 2. Now we are going to move across third module of planning the Windows 10 upgrade. Well, so Windows 10 upgrade is going to be a common task in most of the enterprise nowadays, because we are going to upgrade from Windows 7 application. Well, so in this situation, even my organization, like I'm again going to put across to a scenario just to make it more easy. So my organization also decided to upgrade the machines to Windows 10. And again, the job has been assigned to me to go further with it. So my job is to now go with the Windows 10 upgrade. Fine. So I'm again taking you back to the product in order to show you how this could be feasible. And in order to use this option, I'm going to use reports. I'm going to use the reports to help myself, and that to the custom reports. So the custom reports, I've already created a custom report, so you can just see through this custom report how this is going to be. And let me show the new custom report how it looks. So custom report, I'm going to plan this Windows 10 upgrade. Before upgrading the Windows 10, as you know, I need to have some criteria. First of all, I need to check about the hardware, like hard drive space. What is the hardware capacity of the machine, and the RAM, and the warranty? Well, that I'm going to do now. And before that, I just want to show you how you can achieve your reports. The reports which you have, or the reports which is not convincing for you from the inventory reports. If you want to generate a report of your own, yes, you can very well come over here to the custom reports. From the reports, you can come to the report, just click on the custom reports, new custom report. This place will help you to generate a report based upon your choice and your requirement. Anything deals with computers, for example, domain name or an IP address or a service tag, its manufacturer, you can pull a report based upon the machine. Anything deals with the hardware, like a printer details or the memory information, Mac information, or the hard drive space, processor details, you can get a report based upon the hardware by choosing the columns of hardware name, the criteria, or the value. You can select the value and you can go ahead. Similarly, softwares. Any report which you want to pull based upon the software, like the software name, its manufacturer, its version, its type, its install date, anything deals with software, again, you can make use of the same columns and you can achieve it. So likewise, I have created a report for my Windows 10 upgrade, and you can see over here. I'm just going to edit it. So the requirement what I have chosen here is, first of all, I want to know like whether the hard drive has enough space to accommodate the application, like operating system in it. So it should be more than 100 gigs. The next criteria is, since it's going to get upgraded to Windows 10, so I want to ensure my machines are running with greater than 4 gigs of RAM so that it is going to cope up with the Windows operating system activities. Again, the next thing is going to be my warranty. So choosing these two options does not going to help me to last long with a Windows 10 upgrade, because I need to even have the warranty. So I want to check about the warranty of the machines, whether the warranty is getting passed for at least 1 year so that I can upgrade the machine. Yes. So I have chosen the columns, but the columns and choosing the column of physical memory, and I'm just adding the details like add criteria, and I've chosen the free space, which is greater than, which will be the column, and I've just added the value. Likewise, after adding it, I have also chosen my requirement. Like what is the requirement? I've added everything, and I'm just going to run a report. Here we go. So I got all my machines, the memory, the free disk space, and the warranty information. So I got everything according to my choice. That's great. Well, now I'm going to find where these machines are available. So I need to go and check for this. So now I just want to pause here. I just want to give you one other information. Similar to the custom reports, we do also have some called new credit report. The new credit report is nothing but a query. If any report which has been specified over here, any report, you can see all the reports what we offer you. These are all the predefined reports. If any report which could not be convincing to you, including the new custom report, which we have defined now, you can get the report according to your choice, which is called the tailor-made report. You can get this report according to your choice by constructing with a SQL language. You can go specify the report name, construct a SQL language. If you're expert in doing the construction of SQL language, please raise a request to us. So we will be sharing the DB schema. So with the help of the inventory schema, you can construct the report and you can get that report. And we also have provided you a quick tips about how this could be done with the help card. You can just go through it. Well, so if you require our assistance on this report, you can very well raise a request by using this link, and the link will help you to provide all the information from your end, like the database information, what is the database you're using, and you can very well come and check the database information under the support. You can come down and you can see the database information what you're using, just to make it more clear. You can go back, you can provide all those informations in the request. Then you can raise it and there is no extra cost. So we are going to help you to check for its feasibility, whether this report is feasible or not. And 90% of the report is feasible. So we take some time for the report generation and it would be presented back to you. And all you have to do is just copy, paste and run the report. So for example, in my scenario of Windows 10 upgrade itself, see, I've got a report, as you know, like Windows 10 upgrade. I've got all the machines, but how do I go forward and upgrade this? Because in my company, I need to go with the OU. So I have to do this job based upon the OU. And in my company, all my departments are created based upon the OU structure. So I'm going to use a query report. I'm going to use a custom query report because I cannot get the OU report because it's an AD based report, which I cannot pull it from here. So I'm going to create a query report which is feasible for me to generate a report like a department wise, and you can see here. So here we go, all the machines, its memory, its free space, and the department. So I can create a department accordingly. So based on that, now I'm going to present this report to my team. And before that, I just want to show you how a query looks like. So here we go, this is the query looks like. And so I'm going to present this report to my costing team or the accounting team to go further work on the Windows 10 upgrade licenses, and by which I can go ahead achieve the requirement. So I've satisfied the job which has been given to me, the mission has been given to me. So likewise, you can go further and make use of the reports for all kind of your reporting purposes. And not only that, you do have an option of adding a scheduled report. So all these reports, whatever we discussed, like custom report, query report, every report could be pulled then and there on demand. You can pull the report then and there. Apart from that, you can also get the report scheduled. You can specify the scheduler name here, and you can make use of this report. Like for example, I can show you some report like patch report. So you can come down here, you can choose the reports, whatever reports you want. You can select the reports accordingly. For example, the license complaints or license renew or anything like computer buy, its operating system, and all the reports. And even you can see here the query reports, even the department wise query reports, I can add it. So not only this, in these reports, we can go ahead, we can also add columns and criteria. So you can add the columns and criteria. So I want to fetch this information only from a specific remote office of mine. I don't want the full information. So I'm having an office of New York. So I want to fetch it only from New York. Yes, I can do that. So likewise, I can just customize each and every report according to my choice and choose the way you want to have the report to be shown up, in which format you can choose accordingly. And this report can be sent through an attachment or a zip file. When it is going to be an attachment, we are more concerned about the email attachment. So the email carries only 10 MB of the size in the network. Well, I'm choosing only few reports, which is good. If I'm going to choose multiple reports of the reports which I have here, so it's going to have a lot of reports added here, which cannot be feasible with the attachment in 10 MB. I can move forward with the zipping the file. That's good. I can compress, I can send it across with a zip format. What happens if I'm going to select all the reports of all the requirements? So it's going to be more overhead for me in terms of attachment. In that condition, I'm just moving on to the URL method, so which sends a URL to the target users to whom you want to send the report. Like these are the users, you can add with separate break comma. So those users will receive the URL, and when you click on the URL, that's going to show the credential to log into Desktop Central. When you log into Desktop Central, you can see all the reports downloaded and you can get things done. And you can also schedule when you want to do the reporting accordingly, once daily, weekly, or monthly. You can choose, and even you can choose based upon the weeks and days accordingly. So likewise, you can create a report and it's going to be sent to your inbox on the given date and time. Well, so this is all about of the Windows upgrade process which we discussed. And if you have any questions, do please raise it to the chat team. Well, so we have come to the end and we are moving on to the next segment of scenarios and solutions. So scenario number 1, I want to proactively resolve hard disk space issues before the user reports them. Is this possible? Yes, it's possible in the report itself. Like we have the hard disk usage where we can go, we can change the criteria here and we can get a report. So this is going to be sent a report to you by providing the informations, and based on that we can move forward with this option to proactively resolve the hard disk spaces. So scenario 2, I want to add additional information about my computers to the asset data. Is this possible? Yes, definitely it's possible. When you go to the inventory, you have an option of computers. When you click on the computers, you can see the list of machines you're managing, and you do have an option of a pen icon or a pencil icon. You can see that's going to be the add edit possible. So you can provide all your custom-based information, like about the machine's location, owner, the search tag. If you have any internal inventory or tracking number for the machines, you can furnish all the details and you can save it. Again, it's going to be time consuming for each and every machine, so by which you can use this same format of CSV, keep all the machines and other details in this format, and you can import it. Even if you don't want to provide any information like the location or the search tag, you just add it with a comma, and that's going to skip the value, and you can add it to the machine. So you can have imported from CSV. You can import that file by choosing it, and you can get all the details here, and you will also find all these informations right away from this place. Like you can see the owner, the location, the search tag, all the details are going to be shown over here. You can see here. Well, so moving towards the scenario 3. We have the policy to replace the computers older than 5 years. How do I get the list of those computers? Well, so in most of the enterprise, they want to keep up the machines, they want to upgrade the machines, they want to decommission the old machines, which is going to be a policy of 5 years or 3 years or 7 years, and they want to move forward with the new machine. Yes, we have an option here to get that report again. So go to the inventory reports, you have computers by age. So here we can see the machine details. So all the machines are categorized based upon the year. And this report is fetched with the help of a BIOS. So using this BIOS information, we provide you all the details in a display. You can choose accordingly. So for example, if it is 5 years old, then we can see all the 2011 machines. I have 10 machines where I can click on that. It's going to show all the 2011 machines, which is 10. So I can take necessary action, decommission these machines. I can go for a new procurement. Scenario 4. Shared directories with write access is a security threat. Can we identify them? Yes, of course. So if you have a permissions provided, like a shared directories, and without knowing what is its shares provided for them, like whether it's full access permission or read, write. So for that reason, we have it again under the inventory. You can go to the reports also. You can just go to the reports and you can just click on the inventory reports, and you can see the shared details, where you can see all the information about the username, the computer name, and what kind of share permission you have provided and shared with everyone or a specific person, and what is its permission level. So you also have an option of exporting it to PDF format to have it as a report. Scenario 5. So Dropbox is installed at the user level and would like to get the list of computers that have it installed. How do I identify it? So the other way we can put it up to put across to make it more simple is a Dropbox is a kind of a user-based application. So any kind of user-based application, I want to know where it is installed, in which location it is installed. Yes, we can do that. Normally, you may not get this report in a real-time scenario, since these applications are going to be installed based on the user profile. So as an administrator, if you log into the same machine where the user is downloaded and installed, you may not be able to see this application because the control panel shows only the machine-based installation, not the user-based. But agent has the intelligence to even identify the details of these applications. So you may go to the reports, again to the inventory reports. So we have a user-specific software report, which is under the software. And even you want to get this report, you can also go to the software. Inventory reports, you can see the user-specific software in the software reports category. So this is going to show you the application name, manufacturer details, and how many machines are having it. And you can very well go get the detailed view of the user as also. So which user has installed this application. So you can get the details. So moving forward, scenario 6. I want to identify the computers with local administrator account. Is this possible? Yes, of course. So we can go to the reports again, and we can see the inventory reports. You can see the information about the system users to see the administrator details. So in which account this machine is available. Scenario 7. I want to see the list of Mac-based applications in the network and the details of such computers. Well, certainly we can go and get this report in Desktop Central. So when you go to the inventory, you can see all the information about the different operating systems, including Windows, Mac, and Linux. So you have the Mac-based. You can click on that machine and you can see the list of Mac machines. When you click on the Mac machine, you can see the complete inside of the machine about the hardware, the software details, and the history about the machine. So moving towards scenario 8. I want to run an internal audit in a company to identify computers like users which has movies or music files. How can I get this done? So this could be useful when it comes for request raised by the users, like the machine is running slow. So you can very well go and check whether those users, after a periodic check of yours, like checking the processors or memory, if still the machine seems to be running slow, it could be a disk consumption issue, like the memory space, the hardware space consumption. So you may check whether the user is having any kind of the files, or in other way, even if you want to do an audit when you're coming across or going towards an audit, like a security audit. So the security audit compliance, like the movies or music files, should not be available in the network in such conditions. So this would be helpful for you. In order to get the details, please come to the schedule scan. You have a file scan option. Select like this, enable the scheduler, run it across your charts. When it is done, you would be able to see the list of machines. Like when you click on this machine, here you can see the complete inside of the machine, like how many hardware, software installed, your hardware manufacturer, including the warranty information, which I remember we were talking about the scan, inventory scan in the beginning of the training about. It also scans the warranty information. So it scans the warranty information, and Desktop Central Server is going to fetch this information from the Dell website warranty page and publish it on the screen. And you also get the system details about the services, users, groups, shares available in the machine, the hardware is available in the machine, software is installed, and the security information, like what is your hardware security scenario, like your BitLocker, whether your hard drive is with the BitLocker, the antivirus status, your firewall status, as well as the missing patch, and including the USB audit details, like how many devices have been connected and what is the device name, when it was connected, disconnected, and everything. And also the recent changes happen in the machine, like any hardware is added, removed, you can see those details here. Well, coming back to the original question of file details, like movies and photos, yes, we can get that. So it's a kind of a categorization. It's a file categorization. So we can get the file categorizations for these lists, and it could show you the details. Based on that, you can take necessary action. Well, coming back to the scenario 9, is there a way to identify the various size of monitors, like desktop monitors available in network? Definitely, it's possible. And again, I'm taking you back to the report. So remember, we were talking about the custom reports. So based on the custom reports, we can get the details. And here we go. This is one of the hardware report which we have defined. So you can see here the hardware type equal to desktop monitor, and we have added the columns, and here we go with the report size. And we are done with these scenarios. So now we have questions. So we are going to deal or see the questions, the frequently asked questions. So the question number 1, do we need to install both Asset Explorer Agent and Desktop Central Agent in all systems? We are having Service Desk Plus system with System Tool plugin. Yes, of course. Desktop Central Agent is required to be installed and not the Asset Explorer Service Desk Plus, because the objective of having the agent installed is to pull the inventory details, which is much more than, or which is robustly done by the Desktop Central Agent compared to Service Desk Plus and Asset Explorer, because Asset Explorer Service Desk Plus does not have the intelligent scanning of the machine based on the changes, but that is available in the Desktop Central. When you add a program to the prohibited software list, does it take all the versions of the software into account? Do I need to update the prohibited software list every time a new version is released? Certainly, because you may not require the Adobe Reader 16, but you may require Adobe Reader 17. So we cannot take all the Adobe for the consideration and prohibit that applications. For that reason, it's recommended to add the applications based upon the version. So question number 3, if the software that you want to prohibit is not already on your network, how can I block it using Desktop Central? So we have well discussed about the block executable. So you can make use of the block executable in order to achieve this requirement. Question number 5, what data is used to determine that the computer's warranty has expired? So we have a report again in Desktop Central inventory, so which is going to be your warranty expired. So you can make use of this warranty expired report in order to identify based upon the required, like which machine is expired and what is its serial number. So expired warranty could be easily fetched over here. Question number 5, on the inventory report of computers without specific software, how to specify filter criteria and schedule them? Well, so we have already discussed about the report. When we are adding a scheduled report, so we add a report for the inventory, and you can see here the computers without specific software. You can go here, you can add the customs, you can just use the criterias to customize, and you can get this in the scheduled report to receive it. Question number 6, does Desktop Central 9 detect what software is installed on each machine and detect if it is licensed? Does Desktop Central have the ability to detect what the product key for each software license? Well, Desktop Central automatically detects the application if it is a commercial, it is installed, and if it is licensed based upon the agent. And in regard to the product key, we have a separate report. So we can go use the inventory reports of getting the software product keys. So that's going to provide you the product key information for all the machines. And you can also get the same report by going down to the inventory reports with the product keys. So you can get the information. Question number 7, how are Office 365 licenses managed since they are cloud-based? Well, so we recommend you to please use the below link, and if you raise a request, so we may also share you the link through the chat. So as of now, the 365 licenses, since it's handled in the cloud-based, and as you know, Desktop Central manages everything based upon the agent. So the license key is not going to be reserved or stored in a local machine. It's going to be on the cloud, the KMS system of Microsoft Office. So it is not feasible as of now, but however, it's unavailable as of now, I'm sorry. However, we would be allowed to work on this case, and if you have raised a request and based upon the priority. Well, that's the end of the training for today, and trust the training was helpful for you to get a hold on the inventory management. So request you to please rate us on a scale of 1 to 5, where 5 is going to be the best. And you may also spread a word by tagging us using the Desktop Central or ManageEngine in all your social medias. And the next training of remote control. So we're going to see much more in-depth information about the remote control and how to handle certain real-time scenarios, especially on the help desk, and a demo or presentation or training or taking remote for technical assistance. So we are going to discuss much in depth on remote control on August 9th, and the time is given over there. So I request you to please join us again. And until then, thank you very much for all your active participation, and you all have a great day.